A brief 5-minute explainer as to what is actually going on in Ukraine, and it falls into 3 basic categories. Number 1, there is a lot of dodgy stuff that goes on in Ukraine. Most people couldn't find Ukraine on a map, and yet BlackRock are involved there, the warmongers are involved there, Biden was involved there, Hunter Biden was paid by Ukraine $50,000 a month, plus a kickback to his father. There's minerals there, there's assets there that can be stripped out. Ukraine seems to hold this bizarre fascination with all sorts of powerful players. NATO wants to expand there. The NATO effort is expansionism, and Ukraine is right pushing up against Russia. It's a pushback on Russian power by the combined forces of Europe. All of these different players massively invested in a country that most people A, never heard of, B, they decided to change the name Kiev, for example, to Kyiv, and C, suddenly everybody cared. The second thing that perhaps some people could be open to having differing opinions on is Zelenskyy. You might think he's an amazing leader standing boldly for democracy, or you might look at some of the facts. The facts are that he's an actor and a comedian. The facts are that from 2015 through 2018, he played the president. He acted the role of the president in something called The Servant of the People. It's a TV show funded by one guy. The same guy that went on to fund a political party and then fund Zelenskyy to be the leader of the political party, and then for him to become actual president, the same guy. And Zelenskyy is now worth over $1 billion as an actor who then became president, who then acted as the leader of the kind of, this is about democracy. You might think he writes his own speeches, or you might be open to the fact that he is a very useful puppet, was never a political figure, and this whole thing has been about a ruse to keep people out of asking too many questions about Ukraine and to launder a vast amount of money through that country, making many very powerful people a lot richer. Point 3, you may be open to the idea that your point of view will depend on whether you're in the US or whether you're in the UK. The US, under Biden, the push was, we must fight for Ukraine. Look at us, we must be part of this effort to protect our European friends. We must all the time. War, laundering money, Biden's getting kickback, Hunter Biden getting a ton of cash out of there, plus all the other dodgy deals going on. Now, under Trump, enough of this wasteful spending, no more US money going to Ukraine, and Trump just basically saying, let's stop this nonsense, let's stop the ruse, let's just get rid of this war to stop the processing and laundering of our cash, and also let's get something back for the cash that was laundered through that country, for all of that billions of dollars of aid that went there. Let's get something back for that. So from a US point of view, you'd be jolly glad to see this all over, because from a US point of view as well, why is your money being used over in Europe? It's got nothing to do with the United States of America, right? Here in the UK, watching what was done to the British people, another massive kind of psyop, and it used many of the tools that were used during lockdown. The way to get people invested is to get the problem into their homes. So Boris Johnson's out there getting British people to take Ukrainian refugees into their homes. Can you take a refugee? Can you take a Ukrainian? Oh, the poor Ukrainian people, take them into your home. So the government kind of bought the Hearts and Minds campaign of the British people by saying they need a home. Can you give them a home? Can you fly a flag on your doorstep? And then, of course, the pictures. Every British leader wants a picture of themselves in camo gear with the leader of the guy fighting for democracy. Every British leader wants that. And it's why British people think so differently from American people, because British people were sold the idea it was a fight for democracy, as opposed to a money laundering operation where many powerful people were making themselves richer with a puppet leader who was never actually in politics in the first place. All of these things are just helpful thoughts. But it helps explain why I don't think the Ukraine war was really the Ukraine war. I don't think Zelenskyy was ever a real president, and why I think actually Trump trying to just stop this whole sham is absolutely what the world needs.